Hello students, I am Mrs. Anjali Nadgowda, Department of Chemistry, KLS Gokte PU College, Science Section, Belagavi. As all of you know, we have completed the Nernst equation in last class. So today we are going to see the problems based on Nernst equation. In last class, we have seen the Nernst equation, how it can be written for single electrode, that is half cell, as well as for the complete cell, that we can say that which includes both the cells, two cells at a time. For example, we have seen the Nernst equation for Daniell cell also. So today we are going to see the problems based on Nernst equation. Now this type of problems will be asked for 3 marks. Let us take an example. A zinc rod is dipped in 0.095 molar solution of zinc sulfate at 298 Kelvin. Calculate the electrode potential of zinc electrode. Now here the single electrode is given, that is zinc electrode, means zinc rod is dipped in aqueous solution of zinc ions, that is it may be zinc sulfate. So the value of E naught, that is standard electrode potential of zinc, is given as a 0.76 with minus sign, remember, and the unit is volt. So how to solve such type of problems? First of all, we have to write the equation for, and it carries 1 mark. So from Nernst equation for single electrode, we have already learned the equation, that is E cell is equal to E naught cell minus 0.0591 divided by n into log of 1 upon m raised to plus n, which shows the concentration of metal ion. This shows the concentration of metal ion, which is already given in the problem. Okay. Then here n is equal to 2. Why n is equal to 2? Because in this electrode zinc is dipped in zinc sulfate and it becomes zinc plus 2 ion. So therefore n is equal to 2. Now next step, how to solve this? So here formula carries 1 mark. Now substitute the values of E naught cell, that is minus 0.76, then 0.0591 divided by 2 log of 1 upon 0.095. Here m raised to plus n, that is concentration of metal ion. When it is written in square bracket, it is always taken as concentration in molar. So here it is given 0.095. So by substituting all these values, we can find out the value of E cell, that is electrode potential of zinc electrode. So minus 0.76 minus this value 0.0591 divided by 2, it comes as 0.02955. In some books it is given as 55, or in even you can write 0.0295 into log of, now we have to find out this 1 upon 0.095 and it comes as 10.526. Already you have learned how to find out the log value. Okay. Then by using that log value, that is by using the log table, it comes as 1.0224. So multiplying 0.0295 into 1.0224 and subtracting the value from 0.76 will get the final answer as a 0.790 with minus sign. The unit should be written as a volt, and here the middle step carries 1 mark and the final answer with proper unit carries 1 mark. So this is how the 3 marks are distributed. Please write it once again and go through it, and if you have any problem, you can call me, I will explain it. Calculate next. Another type of problem, calculate the EMF of the cell in which the following reaction takes place. So here reaction is given, that is Ni plus 2Ag plus. Now if you see here, some concentration values are given, that is 0.002 molar of Ag plus. Then Ni2 plus is 0.160 molar and plus 2 Ag. This equation is given in which first Ni and 2 Ag both are solid state. So no need to take into consideration when we are solving the problem. So which values we have to take then? Only these two values, that is Ni2 plus and Ag plus. Now from this equation, so what is given in this? Given E0 cell is equal to 1.05 volt. So this problem is already given in March 2020 paper for 3 marks. How to solve then? So again by using Nernst equation. So from Nernst equation, whenever we have to calculate the E cell, EMF of the cell or E cell, always we have to use Nernst equation. So E cell is equal to E0 cell minus RT NF into Ln, concentration of products divided by concentration of reactants. This is the formula for the complete cell, that is which includes the 2 electrodes which are joined with salt bridge. Now to convert this Ln into log, we have to always take a constant, that is 2.303. So multiplying by 203 RT upon N into F value, that is Faraday value, is 96,500. So this value 2.303 RT upon 96,500, it comes as 0.0591, that already we have seen in last class. So E cell is equal to E0 cell minus this quantity into log of, now instead of Ln we have to write it as log of concentration of products minus concentration of reactants. Now here substituting the value of R is 8.314 joule per Kelvin per mole and temperature as 298 Kelvin. Then E0 cell value is already given in the problem, that is 1.05 volt. Now here it is positive value. So whenever you are solving the problem, first mark will be given for the problem. That is, first mark is given for formula. Okay. Then substitution and then the final answer with the proper unit. Now how to solve this? Next step. So E cell is equal to E0 cell minus 0.0591. 0.0591 is the value of what? 2.303 RT divided by F. Now what is concentration of product in this? If you see here, the product is nothing but Ni2 plus. So concentration of this should be taken at the numerator and concentration of Ag plus should be taken at the denominator, that is reactant. Now here one more part is there that which we have to include is number of electrons, that is N. So how to identify? You can see here the charge on this is charge on nickel is 2 plus, means 2 electrons are lost. So in oxidation, if the 2 electrons are lost, obviously in reduction 2 electrons are gained. That's why here 2 Ag plus is given, that is 2 into plus is 2 plus. So how many number of electrons are exchanged? Only 2 electrons. And this is very important part, to identify the number of electrons. Then the next important part is to identify which is the product, means which value should be taken at numerator and which value should be taken at denominator. So here concentration of Ni2 plus is given as 0.160 and concentration of Ag plus, but we have to take raised to 2 because 2 Ag plus is given, therefore raised to 2. So 0.002 raised to 2. So by substituting all these values, now first of all you have to find out this value, that is log of 0.160 divided by 0.002 square. Then this value comes as log of 4 into 10 to the power 4. So first of all in next step calculate this value, log of 4 into 10 to the power 4. Again log of a into b is equal to log of a plus b, log of b. So by applying the rules, we can find out the value of log is 4.6021. Now 0.02955 into 4.6021, this you should do it first and then subtract it from 1.05. So final answer you will get it as 0.914 volt. That is nothing but E cell. So such type of simple problems will be asked in the exam for 3 marks. And this one problem is fixed on electrochemistry part, usually on Nernst equation. Now, please try the different problems which are given in the textbook also, or else I will give you the website. From that you will come to know which problems are asked. Now let us turn to the next part, that is how we can utilize or how the EMF can be related to Gibbs free energy of the reaction. So here is the equation, that is delta R G. R means reaction. So G stands for Gibbs free energy. So Gibbs free energy or change in Gibbs free energy for the reaction is given as minus N F E cell. What is N is number of electrons, F is Faraday, and E cell will be the value of, that is EMF. So if the concentration of all the reactant species is unity, then E cell is equal to, always considered as E naught cell, that is standard electrode potential. This is already we have learnt. So the same equation can be given as or written as delta Rg is equal to minus Nf E naught cell. So from the measurement of E naught cell, we can obtain an important thermodynamic quantity. So this is an application of EMF, that is electrode potential, to calculate the thermodynamic quantity, that is standard Gibbs free energy change. Why standard I use the word? Because you can see here delta R G naught is given. So this is called as standard Gibbs energy of the reaction. So here one more formula is given, that is delta R G naught is equal to minus RT ln K, or we can write it as, to remove this ln we can take the constant as 2.303. So delta Rg naught is equal to minus 2.303 RT into log of K base 10, log of K to the base 10. Now again this formula is also important for solving the problem. Next, conductance of electrolytic solution. Just I will give you one reference from the topic solid state. All of you have learned that metals are good conductors of electricity. Why we say metals are good conductors? Because if you see in metals, metallic bonding is present. What is meant by metallic bonding? That is metal ions are merged, or metal ions are present in the sea of electrons. That is, these electrons are free to move, and hence whenever it is connected to battery, the electrons flow. And what is the flow of electrons? That we say it as current, and hence we say metals are good conductors of electricity, right? So so there are conductors which are metallic conductors, and even we are going to learn the new type, that is electrolytic conductors. So the substance which allow the passage of electric current are called as conductors. Means the substance, either it is in solid state, or it is in liquid state, or it is in fused state. If it allows to pass the current, then we say it as conductor. So how many types of conductors are there? There are two types of conductors, that is metallic conductors and electrolytic conductors. So what is metallic conductor then? The conductors which allow the movement of electric current due to movement of electrons. So this is very important part. Moment of electrons are called metallic conductors, or it is also called as electronic conductors. So which example we can give? Any metal, that is aluminium, copper, etc. Now there are some materials which show superconductivity, means they are highly conductors. So at high temperature also, that is as high as 150 Kelvin. Which are the examples? Ceramic materials and mixed oxides. Now this is important part for 1 mark question. Materials showing superconductivity at high temperature. Examples: ceramic materials and mixed oxides. Now what is the second type of conductors? That is electrolytic conductors. So the conductors which allow the movement of electric current due to the movement of ions. Remember, here what is the difference? In metallic conductors, movement of electrons takes place, whereas in electrolytic conductors, movement of ions takes place. Are called as electrolytic conductors or ionic conductors. Means how should be the substances? The substances must decompose into ions. Which type of ions? Cations and anions. Then only it is called as electrolytic conductors. So example is aqueous solution of NaCl or KCl, even HCl, H2SO4, like this. So there are so many examples like this. Now which are the factors on which the metallic conductance or electronic conductance depends? That is nature and structure of the metal, number of valence electrons per atom, then temperature. Now here one note is given in the bracket, that is conductance decreases with increase of temperature. Means if we heat the metal, then the conductance decreases. Factors on which electrolytic conductance or ionic conductance depends, that is nature of electrolyte, how it is, whether it produces the ions easily or not, like that. Nature of solvent and its viscosity, which solvent is used. Usually aqueous solutions, they show more electrolytic conductance generally. And its viscosity means resistance to flow. Then concentration of ions in the solution. So if the concentration of ions is more, obviously the conductance is more. Size of the ions and their salvation. Size of the ions and salvation means capacity to dissolve in water or hydration. Then temperature, this is one more factor. So here again note is given, conductance increases with increase of temperature. Means whenever electrolytic solution, that is ionic solution, is heated, obviously the conductance increases. So it is exactly opposite that of metallic conductance. I hope you understand. Now from all these points you will come to know that there is difference between metallic conductance and electrolytic conductance. So let us study the difference between the metallic conductance and electrolytic conductance. So here are the points given, that is metallic conductor and electrolytic conductor. So in metallic conductor, conductivity is due to movement of electrons, whereas in electrolytic conductor the movement is due to ions. Then they conduct electricity in solid state, whereas in electrolytic conductor they conduct electricity in fused state or solution state. Then conductivity decreases with increase in temperature. Decreases, remember this word, conductivity decreases with increase in temperature, whereas for electrolytic solution the conductivity increases with increase in temperature. Now whenever metal conducts the electricity or the flow of current takes place through metal, there is no any chemical change takes place. That is, but in electrolytic solution, chemical change takes place. That is, it decomposes into ions. It produces ions. Whereas metal do not decompose. Now, next one, no transfer of matter takes place in metallic conductor. Matter remains same, only the flow of electrons takes place, whereas transfer of matter takes place in electrolytic conductors. So example is copper, aluminum, platinum, etc. Whereas example of electrolytic conductors is HCl, NaOH, NaCl, etc. But these are aqueous solutions or fused solutions. Now what are insulators? Even this term you have studied in solid state. In solid state we have studied the two terms, that is conductors, three terms, conductors, semiconductors and insulators. So again we have to study this insulators, the substances which do not allow the passage of electric current through them. Means there is no current flow takes place through this material. They are called as what? Insulators. Example, rubber, wood, plastic, wax, etc. What are electrolytes? An electrolyte is a substance which conducts electricity either in fused. Fused means what? Molten. As it is when the solid substance is heated and it comes in liquid form, that is called as molten. And whenever it is dissolved in water, it is called as aqueous solution. So here in the next, or in the solution state, means in both the form, either in fused form or in solution form, if it conducts, if that material or if that substance conducts the electricity, then we say it is as electrolyte. Even what happens? It decomposes on passing the electricity, means it produces the ions. It does not remain in the same form as we are taking in the beginning. Remember this. So example is HCl or NaOH, etc. Now what are non-electrolytes? Exactly opposite to electrolytes, that is the substances which do not conduct electricity either in molten state or in solution state are called non-electrolytes. Example, ethyl alcohol, benzene, glucose, etc. Now what are the types of electrolytes? In this, as already the topic name is electrochemistry, we have to study the electrolytic conductors. So what are the types of electrolytes then? There are two types of electrolytes, that is strong electrolytes and weak electrolytes. What are strong electrolytes? The electrolyte which undergoes complete ionization in aqueous solution at a moderate concentration, means at regular concentration. If it undergoes complete ionization, then it is called as what? Strong electrolyte. For example, any strong acids like HCl, HNO3, H2SO4, etc. Strong bases or alkalis like NaOH, KOH, etc. Salt solutions like NaCl, KCl, etc. So these are all called as strong electrolytes which get completely ionized. Whereas weak electrolytes, electrolyte which undergoes partial ionization, partial means half part, or we can say not complete. Some part get ionized, some part remains as it is in aqueous solution at a moderate concentration. So let us have once again electrolyte which undergoes partial ionization in aqueous solution at a moderate concentration. Example, weak acids like formic acid, HCOOH, or acetic acid, that is CH3COOH. Weak bases like NH4OH or zinc hydroxide, that is ZnOH twice. NH4OH means ammonium hydroxide, zinc hydroxide, aniline, etc. So here you can give many more examples also, but better to remember the easy examples. So here we have completed till the electrolytes part. Now, here I am giving you the link on which you can see question answers which are important from that topic, which is given by PU board itself. So please go through it, and if you get any problems, you can solve that problems also, and do the practice of writing. It is essential. Remember students, you have to write the paper for 3 hours, so writing part is important, and more you practice, it will be benefit to you only, or it will be easy for you to remember also. Thank you.